Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Field Plays. And today I thought we'd switch it up and actually talk about hardware rather than video games this week. However, this hardware does nothing but enhance video games, so they're related. Sure, why not? So anyway, today we are talking about an absolute necessity for retro gaming, and that is the OSSC, the Open Source Scan Converter. This beautiful piece of hardware does one thing, and that is solve problems, and that is why I absolutely love it. And I'm going to tell you just a bit about it, why I got it, and at the end of the video, I'll put a timestamp right here. Just go to there if you just want to see side-by-side comparisons if you know enough about this device. But anyway, let's start talking about the OSSC. So rather than talk too much about the technicalities of this thing, let's just talk about what it does. And it solves three of my biggest problems. One, I could not actually play retro consoles 240p format, that's what the old consoles went at before high definition, on a newer television. When I put it on my Samsung, it seems to flicker and or has some kind of rolling screen issues. Bottom line, my TV just hates old consoles. So this guy takes care of that. You plug it right in, right into the television, works great. Problem solved. Number two, really just the ability to have a switcher. I like being able to have one input, HDMI input, but three consoles plugged in. I actually have four because I'm using a splitter. We'll talk about that soon. But really just being able to plug all my old retro consoles into one device and one HDMI output is just awesome. And number three, scan lines. I like the retro look. I love those little lines within each, in the image, which is awesome. Really is the best way to mimic a CRT television. The funny thing is when I'm playing emulators, I don't really care for it as much, kind of the digital one. This one is just awesome. It's kind of like analog or whatever the hell you call it, but it's just super cool to see. It really just night and day how much more I like the effect. And I'll show some examples shortly to kind of give you an idea. But anyway, those are the top three reasons why I love the OSSC. It solves problems for me. I could not play my retro consoles on the TV, took care of that. Scan lines take care of that. And I couldn't plug in all my old consoles, takes care of that. So for a little over $200, this price tag is just a necessity, really. I mean, the competition of this is the FrameMeister, which we've all heard of. I believe that goes for about $300 to $400, so slightly more than this guy. It looks a little prettier in presentation. It's more kind of like a solid console. This thing looks a little intimidating at first, but that's what I kind of like about it. It's a little raw, exposed units and things like that. But anyway, let me go ahead and get some close-ups on it. It really just has three inputs. That is going to be component, SCART, whatever you call it, that crazy European format, which I'm just really, sadly, I've only heard of like this year. I wasn't really familiar with it. And then your good old VGA. So I'll kind of show you this little diagram in a second to show you how I have mine kind of set up, how I'm actually capturing the video. We will do a different video on that too, to actually get a capture card to work with this. I did have some difficulty. I just had difficulty with capture cards in general, not with this device by itself, but we'll do another video for that. But long story short, the what was it? Elgato I think it's called the Cam Link, I believe is what it is. But anyway, that's about the only thing I've gotten to work with this successfully. But when it does work, it's phenomenal. So now that we have all these plugged into the OSSC, for example, how do we record and or put on the television as well? So now we have a lovely HDMI out, HDMI, whoa, goes right over here to an HDMI splitter. So, splitter basically has one of the images go straight to the TV, and then one over to my laptop, so I can go ahead and record the footage. I know this is a very terrible diagram, but it gives you an idea how much can actually plug into the OSSC. Anyway, let's dig into it. Let me go ahead and show you some footage. Really not much else to tell you about, just other than how much I love this thing. For the price point, it's a must-have if you're into retro gaming. Just a cool device to have. I love being able to kind of turn the scanline effect off and change contrast. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. So playing a Neo Geo on an HD TV is awesome, but you have to see my wacky setup out here. It really is hard to beat playing on an old CRT television. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you do go out and get one of these wonderful devices, and it does help you out with some of your problems with retro gaming. If you would, go ahead and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. We always do new videos every Saturday, so thanks again for watching. Hope everybody has a great week. Until next time.